We promised we'd open the envelope at 30, no matter where life took us. It started as a joke during senior year, the night before graduation. My best friend Jonah and I were sitting on the campus roof, sharing a six-pack and trying to pretend we weren't terrified about the future. Everyone else had big plans: med school, law school, startups. I had no clue what I wanted, and Jonah was hiding the fact that he'd just gotten rejected from his dream. Grad program. At some point I said, you know what? Let's make a deal. We each write a letter to our future selves, seal it, hide it somewhere safe, and open it when we turn 30. No peeking before then. He grinned, that crooked grin that made him look both mischievous and sincere. Deal. But if one of us chickens out, the other has to show up and make them read it anyway. So we wrote the letters that night on notebook paper torn from my philosophy journal. I remember writing about how lost I felt, how scared I was that I'd never find a life that actually felt like mine. I didn't tell Jonah, but I also wrote something else, that I loved him, and that if time ever brought us back to the same place, I hoped he'd feel the same way. We sealed the envelopes, signed them "Do not open until 30, and tucked them inside an old cigar box behind a loose brick in the art building wall. Then we graduated, hugged, and promised to keep in touch. We didn't. Life took us in opposite directions. Jonah moved to New York chasing some dream in architecture. I ended up teaching English in a small town 2 states away. We texted for the first year or two, then less, then not at all. I saw his engagement announcement on Facebook around the time. I turned 27 and told myself I was happy for him. Then, this January, a letter showed up at my apartment. No return address, just my name in familiar handwriting. Inside was a single line: meet me at the art building on March 14, 7 p.m., bring the key. March 14th, my 30th birthday. I hadn't thought about that stupid pact in years, but there it was. The date we'd set without even realizing it would fall on my birthday. I still had the small keychain Jonah had given me with the spare key to the art building tucked away in a drawer. For reasons I couldn't explain, I bought a plane ticket. When I arrived, the building was almost exactly the same. Peeling paint, the faint smell of turpentine. And there he was, sitting on the floor by the wall, holding the cigar box. His hair was shorter, a few gray strands mixed in, but that grin was exactly the same. You kept the key, he said quietly. You kept the box, I replied. He opened it and handed me my letter first. The paper was yellowed, creased from time. I read every word, every fear, every dream, until I got to the line that made my hands shake. If I still love you at 30, I'll tell you then. I looked up. Jonah was watching me with that same expression I'd seen the night before graduation. Nervous, hopeful, trying not to let it show. I found mine last month, he said, holding up his own letter. It said almost the same thing. I started laughing, partly from shock, partly from how absurdly perfect it all was. You're married, I blurted out, though I already knew the answer. Not anymore, he said softly. Hasn't been for a year. Guess I never stopped wondering about that brick wall. We sat there for hours, reading the words we'd written to the people we thought we'd become. Somewhere between laughter and tears, we realized we'd both spent a decade trying to be adults without ever outgrowing who we were together. When we left the art building, he reached for my hand like it was the most natural thing in the world. That was 6 months ago. We live in the same city now. No more letters, no more waiting. Just two people who finally opened a box and found everything they'd been looking for inside. Turns out sometimes the promises you make at 20 aren't naive. They're just waiting for you to catch up.